Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into Site Reliability Engineering, or SRE for short. We're going to talk about how teams go from the absolute chaos of constant emergencies to a place where they can have calm, data-driven conversations. So let's get into it.
Sound familiar? Yeah. If that question makes you wince a little, you know exactly what the first stage of any SRE practice feels like. It's that constant state of emergency response, firefighting.
So how do you actually escape that cycle? Well, think of this explainer as your map. We're going to chart a course right out of that endless firefighting and show you how to fundamentally change the way your team even talks about reliability, moving from just panicked reactions to actual proactive engineering.
This is pretty much where every SRE journey kicks off. You get brought in to fix stuff, you put out one fire, and boom, another one starts. You just rinse and repeat. And this stage isn't just some brief hiccup. We're talking it can last for months, sometimes even years, until the biggest, scariest threats to the system are finally wrestled under control.
Okay, so how do we find our way out of all that smoke? We need a map. And for SRE, one of the best maps out there is something called the Dickerson Hierarchy of Reliability. It gives us a really clear, structured path to follow. Let's take a look at the first 5 levels. It all starts with monitoring, just asking the basic question, are things getting better or worse? From there, you build up. You go to incident response, then post-incident review, then testing, and finally capacity planning. And this isn't just some random list, okay? Each level builds on the one before it. You have to follow the steps in order to build that solid foundation. Now, the most important part of this whole journey, it happens right at the very beginning. Climbing these first few rungs is all about one thing, and it's a big one: changing the conversation. It's about getting away from all the guesswork and gut feelings and moving toward discussions based on objective, hard data.
And what's so cool about this slide is how it just nails that shift. Over on the left, you've got that anecdotal chat. It's all about feelings, right? I think the system is less reliable, or, hey, I haven't been paged, so it must be fine. But on the right, that's the goal, a data-driven dialogue where everyone is looking at the same trusted info. And that right there is the power of level 1 monitoring.
But here's the catch, and it's a huge one. Just having a monitoring system, well, that isn't enough. People have to actually trust it. I remember hearing this story about a hiring manager who got asked this very question. And his answer, oh man, it revealed a massive problem. This is a giant flashing red flag. A system that's too noisy, one that everyone just ignores, is failing at its number one job. It means your team still can't have those critical data-driven conversations because there's no shared source of truth that anyone believes.
So here's the bottom line. A good, trusted monitoring system becomes like a watering hole. It's that one central place where everyone on the team can gather around, look at the same reality, and have productive conversations about what to do next. It is the bedrock of everything else. And this just shows you perfectly how the next levels build on that foundation. A solid incident response process, it takes the conversation during an outage from pure panic to a calm operational process. Then, a good post-incident review process changes the conversation after an outage from pointing fingers and assigning blame to collective learning. See? Each level makes the conversation more mature. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about how this can all go wrong. The path to SRE maturity, it is not a straight line, and there are some really common, really tempting traps along the way. One of the biggest ones pops up right after you finally put out that last big fire. Think about it. After months of pure chaos, the team is just spent. They're exhausted, and that desire for stability is overwhelming. This leads to a very natural, but also very problematic conclusion about what to do next.
And that's when you enter the gatekeeper stage. The SRE team, fresh off of saving production from total chaos, decides the best way to keep it safe is to become the enforcer. They put up walls, they start manually controlling every single change that goes into production to stop any more disruptions.
And while that might feel safe for a little while, it's a total dead end. Being a gatekeeper creates a ton of friction and slows everybody down. Other teams start to resent the SRE team, and eventually, they'll just find ways to get their work done without you. The real solution isn't to be a manual cop. It's to automate those checks and balances so the system enforces the rules for you.
And hey, the gatekeeper trap isn't the only one out there. You gotta be wary of becoming just the pager monkey that handles on-call for other teams, or getting stuck only doing postmortems. These kinds of roles, they really limit your impact and stop SRE from delivering its full value.
So if you manage to climb that hierarchy and dodge all the pitfalls, what does success actually look like? How do you know your SRE practice is really thriving? I'll tell you this much, it's not just about getting fewer pages in the middle of the night.
Success is a cultural shift. You know you've made it when you go from pushing your way into meetings to being pulled in because other teams genuinely value your input. It's when you start hearing developers use the language of reliability, quoting data on service performance, or talking about how much risk they can take on. It's real collaboration, it's a shared language, and it's people recognizing the quiet, preventative work that kept things running smoothly.
So in the end, it really all comes back to this one question. You can measure the maturity of your SRE practice by the quality of your conversations. Are you guys still talking about feelings and guesses, or are you all gathered around that watering hole making decisions based on shared, trusted data? Because that is the journey from chaos to conversation.